I think my big goal is really to be able to help as many entrepreneurs and business owners as I can. But because I have a limited skill set in terms of being creative and using video and that sort of stuff, that's what I use to help you guys, because everyone here has some really, really awesome information that's super valuable for your audience, but you just need a way to be able to speak that message out to as many people as you can. So going into a little bit more about what I do, using video should be involved in every single aspect of your business, no matter whether you've ever used it before or not. You should be using video on every single point of contact with your clients, whether it's emails, whether it's social media, whether it's tenders, things like that. You should be using video in every single aspect, because have a think to yourselves, how many meetings do you have to have with someone before you convert them into a customer? And why is that? The reason is because you need to they need to know who you are, they need to like what you do, and they need to like you, and they need to trust you. So the goal for me and my business is to hit those three things before they've even actually spoken to you in person. And video can do that. And it's just a matter of understanding your value in your information that you have, and then putting that out in an engaging way to your community, and then obviously getting it to a point where people can find you. So tonight I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how we use video in every single aspect of our clients' businesses, and how that helps you grow your audience, but as well as turn your YouTube channel, or it doesn't have to be YouTube in particular, but turn your videos into a lead generating machine, because that's what they will become if you do them properly. So when you're first starting out to create your own videos, as Priscilla touched on before, you need to have your goals in mind. And I'm not talking about the goals here of these ones here in particular, but if you're going to start creating videos for a community, what is your goal for that community? Because when you start putting content out, people will start to follow you. And that's what they're really there for. Yes, the information that you give them is really valuable, but you will be building a community of people around you that really love you as a person. And so that's why getting more leads, building an audience, selling a product, and increasing efficiency, that's what video can do for your business. But when you do build an audience and that turns into a crowd of raving fans who love you, that's when you really start making some massive momentum out of what you can do. So here's a couple of little figures for you. Videos are 57 times easier to rank in Google than they are your website. And this is true, I can testify to it. Every single one of our clients who we optimize their videos correctly, they start ranking in Google way before their website does. Video traffic is going to account for 75% of all internet traffic in 2017. And the numbers are just growing every single day. So if you're not utilizing YouTube, which is the second largest search engine in the world, then you're really missing out on some opportunities to get some traffic through to your website. 400% times higher click-through rates in emails if it includes a video. So for all of you who send out email newsletters, they can be quite good and quite, will help with conversion. But if you add some YouTube videos into that, you'll see it go up even more. So first of all, I want to talk about what a lot of people get wrong, and this is the type of video content that they put out on YouTube as compared to other places. So you've got to really think about is what your audience wants and what this type of content is doing for you. So there's different types of content out there, and the first one is transactional content, which is sales generating. Now these are your Facebook ads, these are your really short clips, but they don't offer too much value to your audience. What they do is they convert people. So the types of videos these are, they're short-term return on investment. So if you run a Facebook ad, it's there and then it's gone within one day. But if you do it properly, you might have been able to capture a lot of leads and convert a lot of sales during the time that it was there. You're going to pay to use this type of content to get the word out there a lot of the time, and they're going to help you convert really quickly. Now, has anyone seen this video? Okay, so this video here, we are not connected to the internet, but it's called the Squatty Potty, and this video has had over 28 million views on YouTube. In my opinion, it's the perfect sales video. It's the perfect conversion machine. Squatty Potty, it's called. So basically, yeah, we'll put that up on there. But basically what they're doing is these types of sales videos, They're designed to grab your viewers' attention really, really quickly and creatively. Now, these guys have had to figure out a way to talk to everyone about going to the toilet. So what they did is they turned it into unicorn poo, which is creating your ice cream. That's what ice creams are made out of, right? So straight away, that's something totally out of the blue. And if you saw that, like when it starts off, they've got a close-up of the unicorn going into the cone. So if you see that as you're going through your timeline, of course it's going to grab your attention. You're going to go, what the hell is that? So these types of videos, you really need to be creative with them. And this is where a lot of people in business go wrong, is if I'm standing here in front of a white wall and I'm saying, hey, I'm Jake from NextGen Visuals and we do video and I think it'd be really good for you guys in your business, that doesn't grab anyone's attention. So it really does pay to take a lot of time and think about how these videos are done. All right, next is your value-driven content. This is your lead generating content. This is my absolute favorite videos to create. Now guys, crazy figure that I saw today, only 9% of small businesses are actually utilizing YouTube as a marketing strategy, which is insane considering that it is the second largest search engine behind Google. But it's actually, in the last year, for 2 months, it was visited more times than Google was. So video is really fastly becoming the #1 search engine. But the main thing for YouTube, guys, is it gives you discoverability. You use your same Google account to run all of your YouTube videos from. And so when you optimize your videos correctly, that's doing all your correct search terms, that sort of stuff that help you get found, if you put out a single video, that's equal to you having your website. But if you continue to put videos up every single week on different keywords in relation to your industry, you're quickly going to be discovered by a lot more people, and your traffic funnel just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger with every single video you post, provided that it is targeted to your audience. So the great thing too is these videos are offering massive value. Now, you would not put a testimonial video on your YouTube channel, you would not put a sales video on your YouTube channel, because people are not going to be searching for this content. So when you start to think about what is my audience actually typing into the search box, this is what you need to think about. See, I see a lot of people up there and they put episode 1, Jake's podcast, as their title, and then something else. Do you honestly think that anyone who is looking for your content is going to be going episode 1, It's just not going to happen. So there's a few tools that I'll go through later which make this a lot easier to find what your audience is looking for. But this is the first thing you got to do, guys, is start with what they're actually looking for. The last thing that's great about YouTube is when you stick it out and you be consistent, you will see exponential growth. And this is because once you post a video and you optimize it correctly, it doesn't go away because you've made it searchable. So there's new people coming along searching for these keywords that you've made videos about every single day. So if you post a video, it's not like Facebook where it just goes away and you need to repost it again. It will stay there and it will continue to grow and it will keep being suggested because people are finding this really, really well-marketed content. So again, this is another one that we put up the other day, but this is just an example of how we do our content videos. So if you would like to watch this, I encourage you guys to open up your YouTube app and you can just go to our YouTube channel and have a look at that later. I'll also put that information up there. But so every single week, twice a week, we put new videos out to help business owners and entrepreneurs. Nude videos. Yeah, we put nude videos up as well, but that's on a different site. So our goal for our channel is to help entrepreneurs and business owners grow their audience and grow their personal brand through creative video content, because we know that it works. It works time and time again. So every single week we're putting out content which is specifically to achieve that goal. So if you're thinking about starting your own channel, have a think about what is the goal for me and what is my goal for this channel in particular. And just as a hint, your goal should not be to generate sales for my business, which will be a result of it at the end. Your goal should first and foremost be to provide value to my audience. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to grow an audience. The final type of content that you can create with video is productized content. So this is your revenue generating stuff. So does anyone here consider themselves an expert in their area? No one? Oh, it's got a couple there. Guys, an expert is defined as somebody who knows who knows more about a subject than 80% of the population. So put your hand up if you consider yourself an expert in something. Yeah, a few more people. Now, guys, if you have the ability to teach someone something about your field, you can start creating content that is paid for. So a big goal that we have for our clients when we start out is if you're going to start putting content out on YouTube, you're going to get an audience which is beyond Brisbane. It's just going to happen. Like, the US is easily the biggest users of YouTube. So if you're going to start putting it out there, it's obviously going to work very well for you on a local level, but as a side effect, you're going to get an audience from all over the world. So what you need is a way to monetize that audience that you're getting as well. So if you know, for example, like if you know whatever your business is, so if you know marketing, Tyson, then there would probably be about 20 different subjects that you could create a 3-part video series on. And then you could turn that into a $10 product. And if because whenever you create free content, you've got to have some way to get ROI on what you're doing, because you can't just keep creating all this free content if you don't have a way of getting that back to you. It's not sustainable. So that's the third type, and you can create passive income out of that, guys. So if you eventually spend the next couple of years creating a range of different courses and you market them well, guys, you're gonna have a second supplementary stream of income, which is really important, because if you get made redundant, like Priscilla did, or your business fails, like I'm hoping mine won't, you've got to have that second stream of income to back you up. So just start having to think to yourself tonight, what could I teach people that they would find valuable? What do I know that I could start teaching people? Now, the reason YouTube is our number one thing, as I said, second largest search engine in the world, YouTube is where you get all of your warm traffic from. The beauty of this is that YouTube's not in your face. So, as compared to Facebook, think about like me, for example. I probably see about 20 different videos from Tai Lopez and different people like that who are trying to sell all over on Facebook, and they're in your face. YouTube is so great because people are actually searching for what you have to give. So when they come across your content, there's nothing there to say, hey, join up. They're there because they legitimately want to be. And if you continue to produce really valuable content for them, they're going to get used to it and they're going to love you for it. Building that know, like, and trust factor is what we're going for. And also YouTube, it's your content hub. So yes, like Priscilla said, everyone has their own platforms. Like if you're more into executives and that sort of stuff that you sell to, then LinkedIn's probably going to be better for you than Facebook. But YouTube should always be your content hub because of that optimization ability and because of the searchability factor that it's going to give you. But from all the videos that you create on YouTube, going down to your website, you've got a blog post. Taking the transcript from the video you made, you've got another blog post there, which is extra content to go out to your Facebook. YouTube videos go onto Facebook as well. You can also snip them up into smaller 1-minute parts to go on Instagram as well. So all of your content really can stem from that one YouTube video if you set it up correctly. Okay, so what I wanted to go through tonight, guys, is the keys to a successful video strategy. So as I said, first of all, you need to have a value proposition. Think about who your audience is and what is your unique value proposition that when they come to your channel, they're going to see it in all of your videos. They're going to see it in everything you do. And so if a new person comes across your videos, they're going to go, oh my God, this is the place for me. And that's the goal of what we're trying to achieve. So as I said, for our one, we want to help entrepreneurs and business owners grow their audience and influence their community through creative video content. And now every single video that we produce should say that to people who are seeing us for the first time. Next from there is know your strengths. So like Priscilla said before, you need to categorize your skills, guys, into what you're going to be posting. So we'll show you ours on the next page in a little bit, but categorizing your ideas into, well, what do I offer as a service? What do I know about personally? But in relation to whatever your value proposition is. So for us, if our value proposition is to help people be more creative with video content, then our categories are going to be in video optimization, video creation, video editing, also video marketing. Now, when you start to categorize all of that information, you're able to, rather than sitting there and going, oh, what do I create today, thinking about it as a broad term, you can go, okay, well, what do I need to teach people in this category? What do I need to teach people in this category? Or what are people searching for in this category? And it makes it a lot easier to come up with new content. Finally is you need to create searchable topics. So like I said before, that we have ways of figuring out what people are actually searching for. Being consistent is the biggest thing, guys. I cannot stress this enough. If you're going to start creating video content, you cannot stop if you want it to work. So you have to be posting a minimum of once per week. And I know that it's obviously a difficult thing to do if you don't have a videographer or something working for you. But honestly, guys, if you've got an iPhone, you've got the capability to make videos. You don't have to be, like with Facebook Live, they're one of the most effective ways of getting out there to people. You can download your Facebook Live videos, upload them to YouTube and use that as content. The beauty of YouTube is it doesn't have to be a cinematic quality thing. In fact, if it is, people are less likely to engage with it. People love realism. And they love to see you, in your own space and not being really, really professional in what you do. So the content that you're creating, just relax a little bit. Don't worry about making it super high quality. Just make sure that it's in relation to your value proposition and your audience is really there and they'll love it. Finally, guys, and this is one thing that we absolutely stress to all of our clients, which majority of people who create video, especially in the business world, don't do, and that's adding the E factor. And I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. So as I said, our purpose is to enable entrepreneurs, business owners to engage with their community and grow their brand through engaging, highly valuable video content. Sorry, so I'm just reiterating what that's right. Just reiterating what our value proposition is. So like I said before, we want to enable entrepreneurs, business owners to grow their audience with valuable video content. That's our goal. Okay, so now when we categorize our strengths, like I said to you guys, these are our categories that on our YouTube channel, these are the categories that we talk about. So as I said, it's much easier to think about new content to create when you split it up into a couple of different things. Now, how do we actually come up with the content that we need? Now, this is probably the biggest issue for my clients is they'll run out of ideas very, very quickly. But these are the ways that we do it. So using the Google Keyword Planner, which you'll find under the AdWords section in Google. This is a great way to see what people are searching on Google and how much they're searching. So if you have an idea for a video, type in what that video title is into the Google Keyword Planner and it'll tell you how many people have been searching for that every month and if it's popular, and you've got to make an educated decision based on what people are looking for. The other one is the YouTube search bar. So it's a search engine as well, guys. You might have noticed that if you're typing something into YouTube, it'll automatically try and finish your sentence for you. Those are the most commonly searched phrases based on what you've been typing. So if you have a video idea, start typing it into the box and see if it comes up. Another good thing to do is type in how to and then just keep typing in relation to what your thing is, because how-tos are the #1 content that you got to be creating, guys. Now, the one that I use, which sort of makes the other two redundant, is an app called TubeBuddy. Now, this is a third-party program that basically does all of that, what we used to do manually, and when I discovered this app, it totally shot our efficiency through the roof. TubeBuddy will look at all of the searches on YouTube and Google, and you can type in your subject and it'll actually say, hey, based on what you're looking for, here's how many people search it per month and here's the amount of competition you have in that area. So this is the biggest thing when you're starting a content strategy is don't bother going after something if it's got a huge amount of search volume and a huge amount of competition, because there is a lot of competition out there, guys, and you really need to have your optimization down pat if you're going to go after a competitive industry. So, and as I said before, 9% of businesses are actually on YouTube. So you guys have got a really big head start if you start producing this content now. All you've got to do is find out what they're searching for. So TubeBuddy, along with telling you with your thing that you've typed in how competitive it is and how searchable it is, it'll also automatically suggest for you other content that is in that really good zone. So when it comes to planning out your content, this tool is an absolute must if you want to keep producing content on a regular basis, but also make sure that you're hitting that non-competitive area, but really highly searchable stuff. Okay, so here's what we go through when we run our video idea checklist to make sure that it's really, really good. Now, there's a lot of things to go through here, and I apologize, I thought I had more time than I do. But these are a couple of things that we ask ourselves before we come up with a video idea. So for example, we did one the other day, which was on where to find the best royalty-free music, which is basically music that you can use without getting hit for copyright on YouTube. A lot of people need this because it just makes your videos so much more appealing. So we ask ourselves, okay, is anyone actually going to be able to, is anyone actually searching for this topic? So we used TubeBuddy, we typed that in, what's the best place to get royalty-free music? And bam, it was a great topic, so we used it. Shareability, would anyone actually want to share this with their friends? So this is a big one, guys, and the way that you're going to be able to grow your audience faster is obviously if more people share your content. So the way that you can get people to share it is obviously by being engaging, not standing there while we're all doing this. Also, if your topic is being searched a lot, people are probably going to want to share it with their friends as well. But other than that, like, you've really got to just be yourself. It's amazing how many YouTube channels there are out there who are built off no optimization plan at all, but it's because it's really, really relatable what they're talking about. And that's what people are craving. And when you start to build a community, you've got to build those relatable topics, because people try and think too broadly about the content that they're doing. You really got to dial it back a little bit and say, who am I as a person, and who do I really want to be around? And think about the type of videos that I'm creating. If I presented this to someone, the person that finds it and loves it, do I want to sit down and have lunch with them? Because if the answer is no, then you probably don't want to be doing that content. Even though it might be really searchable and low competition, if it's not something that you love or you want to do, you're not going to be able to keep doing it on a consistent basis. There's a couple of other things we talk about there, guys, but I'm just going to skip through because I'm running out of time. Now, this is a simple little setup that we use, which is our content calendar. After using the tools that we have, we just go through and fill it out. I say a minimum of once per week, guys, if you're going to...
Similar to this spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So this is just like really simple, something that we use, but go through and actually try and nut it all out so you know what's happening.
If people want access to that, are you happy to email that out?
Yeah, easy, yeah. I'm happy to give you guys all of these slides as well if that's what you're after. Now, as I was saying before, guys, you've got to add in the E factor to your videos. This is what's going to really make people want to subscribe to you and engage with you. Now, the E factor can be a multiple set of things. It can be educating people. Does this video really educate my person, and is the information I'm delivering easy to understand and retain? Next, entertaining. Is what I'm doing entertaining for the person who's watching it? Guys, have a think about when you go onto YouTube or Facebook, you're either there to look for something that you want to find out, or you're there to pass the time and get distracted from work you should actually be doing. So if you're creating your content, we like to do a mix of the two and make sure it's really, really valuable in terms of education, but break it up a little bit with bits of entertaining factors there, because that's who I am. You know, like, I don't like to take my stuff too seriously, and I want to be surrounded by people who want to have fun as well. You know, so that's the type of things I throw in there. And the last thing is engage. If you don't use video for what it is, and that's a tool that someone will be sitting there, a single person watching it. So all of your content, talk to one person. Don't try and speak to don't try and speak to the world. Try and speak to one person as if you were sitting down with them one-on-one. And that's where you really build that engagement. And so asking them questions like, what we like to do is make videos and ask people to ask us questions, because that's where a lot of our content comes from. So if you've got a question in your call to action at the end of your video, say, hey, leave something down in the comment section, a question if you have, because that is the best way to build engagement with your community, is that if someone sees they've left you a comment, it's often quite a shock for someone to see a video that's been made from their comment as well, especially when you start getting bigger. So make sure you really take the time to engage with your community and put specific ways for them to engage with your video. This is what I love about YouTube even more, is that there's so many different links and things that you can have pop up on your videos, whether it's links to a downloadable content or to subscribe, but you can make it really interactive. And now they've just done an update on mobile apps as well, which makes it more interactable as well. Now, on average, over 65% of viewers of YouTube videos and all videos are on mobile now, and that number is growing by the day. So if your content isn't made specifically with mobile viewers in mind, you need to rethink the way that you're presenting it, because everyone is watching it in their pocket. Okay. Now, thinking of creative ideas. Now, if you had have watched the video that I had on there, it would have made a little bit more sense. So I encourage you to do that after this. But basically, we like to chop up all of when we announce our titles, we don't just say number one is da 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 da. We like to do a separate scene, which is not completely related to what we're talking about, but it's relatable for people when they think of this topic. So it's a great way to break up your content so you're not just standing there talking the whole time, because you can be a really engaging presenter and you can be offering a lot of value and educating them, but people do lose interest if your video goes for too long, and it's very hard to be engaging when it's just you the whole time. So really take into account, if you've got some points, so for us, for example, with royalty-free music, the point that we are making is point number one, is that you need your audio to fit the tone of your video. So now we think to ourselves, well, how can we portray this in a way other than me just saying it? So what we do is we ask ourselves, well, when this does happen, So I feel good. If I'm a viewer, the viewers keep watching because the music matches what I'm saying. They love the music, they're having a good time. Now we got to think to ourselves, okay, well, if this is what we're feeling, what does that look like if you were to act it out in a scene or something like that, you know? Next, we do the same thing. If this doesn't happen, what do I feel? People are confused, people don't like the video, they get frustrated for wasting their money on buying this royalty-free music that doesn't work. Now, that to me seems a lot more funny, and like we could be a lot more entertaining with the wrong side of things. So that's what we went for. So our cutaway example then was having the wrong music play over that scene from Ghost. Everyone know that like clay rubbing scene. So we actually had death metal music playing over that clay rubbing, and it's cutting to that really quickly for about 2 seconds just wakes the viewer up from that coma that they're in listening to you talk. And if you are able to add maybe 2 or 3 of those into your videos, and guys, depending on what industry you're in, you don't have to do something like that. We just love to do that because, as I said, we don't take ourselves too seriously. But obviously, if you're working in a corporate field where you need to, not be so casual about things, there's still stuff you can do which is relatable within your industry. So just think about that, is what is a relatable concept that I can add into this point to really wake the viewers up, but take the attention away from the boring, sitting on there. Okay, guys, so just a final note, I know we need to wrap up. Here's a graph of the last 6 months for one of my clients. Now, this is just to illustrate how important being consistent is. No matter whether you aren't getting the views, no matter whether you aren't getting the subscribers, it will happen as long as you're being consistent and as long as your strategy works. Now, as you can see here, guys, we launched his channel in March, around about the end of March, and we were actually doubling our growth every single month. It doesn't look like it, but we were actually doubling the amount we were doing. And then 4 months in, we hit August and it just took off like this. Now, the reason for that is because YouTube takes around about 3-4 months to actually recognize you as a regular creator. So if you don't stay consistent, it'll never happen for you. So if you put one video up and you go, it doesn't work, then YouTube's not a good idea, then you're gonna stick on that low line. But we stuck to a schedule of posting minimum once per week, and that number up there, guys, so he hit the 1,000 subscribers mark at the start of September. He's now already up to 2,000 within the next month. So that's what I'm talking about, that exponential growth, that once you start putting content out there, it still goes for you. Now, this is within the first 6 months. Imagine what he's going to be doing in 2 years, okay? And the trend is not dying, it is continuing to go as long as you continue to produce this great content. So guys, that's the last thing I'll say. There is a lot more, so if you would like to talk to me about what we do, everything that I've gone through tonight, we do this for our clients as an all-in-one service. So if you would like to chat to me about that, this is the main thing I want you to take away though, is that don't get discouraged if you don't get the views straight away. Just be consistent and keep going. All right, thank you.